Hello everybody, welcome to Sunday. Ben's Brick Designs, I'm Ben. Welcome everybody, welcome Brad, welcome Walter. How are you guys doing? Happy May the 4th weekend, Star Wars weekend. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of Lego stuff going on, lots of Star Wars stuff going on. So yeah, so I'm hoping everybody got out, got some Star Wars stuff going on, maybe watched a movie. Watched a Clone Wars. Bad Batch is out. I have to go watch that. Was kind of busy yesterday and didn't get a chance to watch it because I was busy waiting in line at the Lego store for an hour to pick up some stuff. I went with all the intentions of just getting a couple of things. The X-Wing. So I got the X-Wing. Mostly because I wanted the figures. Right, we've got Luke, Princess Leia, and General Dodonna, which is not a figure that's been out, I don't think, yet. I got the TIE Fighter, which, again, I've heard is a solid build. It also comes with NIL-8. Annihilate? Annihilate. Get it? Annihilate. It's a black protocol droid. It's the one with the kind of like the bug face, so that's pretty cool. Regular Stormtrooper, regular TIE Pilot. I don't know if those are different for these yet. And then I got the Probe Droid. I heard it was a pretty solid build, so I got the Probe Droid. Looking forward to putting this together. I hear it's a fun build, especially the top's got some interesting build techniques on it. And because I got all this, I got the promo set, and because it was in store, I got the shuttle poly bag. So I probably won't open the poly bag, but I'll definitely open this. This is only the second one of these promos that I've got. I got the Death Star 2 last year, and it's sitting in Beth's office because she built it. But that's not why we're all here. We're all here because I figure if I'm going to wait in line, I'm going to get R2. So I got R2. The box is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's a classy box. It's very classy and slick. It's got a nice little 50th anniversary mark on it. I'm looking forward to kind of building this. I didn't have the original one, and I didn't have the Technic one. So yeah, let's get to building. Beth's not here, so I may have to go check on puppies. If anything major happens, I'll pause it or I'll pause the screen and let you guys listen to some music while I go check on puppies. I think they're gonna be fine because the littlest puppy ninja pooped already, so I don't have to worry about taking her out. So let's open this box up. So yeah, I didn't wait in line for 2 hours, but it was about an hour. I mean, I got there at 9:30. Cool, Brad's Life. Or Brad. Yes, I could just say Brad. So it comes in, looks like a box. So this is, my guess, would be later. All of this. So I'm not going to get this done today, obviously. I'm going to be able to go for about 2.5 hours. We'll see. Oh no, this looks like, oh, maybe it is. 6, 8, 4, 10. Sorry for your ears. 2, 7, 13. Okay, so that's weird. Must be earlier. So I'm going to put all these bags back down here. And there's also no instruction in that one, so they probably put it in the box. So I got there probably about 10 minutes before they opened, and I didn't have any idea that the line was going to be as big as it was. Also, I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I'm not listening to anything. That was really weird. Okay. Yeah, so we went to... Oh, now everything's like really loud. We went to PetSmart beforehand. and because Beth had some training stuff that she needed to do today, so she needed to go get some clickers and some training treats, and so I was like, all right, well, we can do that, but then we have to get there at 9 o'clock when it opens, so we can get our stuff, get down to the mall where the Lego store is, and so I can get in line. I didn't realize I had to get in line either. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I thought maybe there would be like 5 or 10 people waiting there when I got there, like outside of the store just for it to open. I go in and there's already a line of like 70 people. I'm like, what is happening? So there's one sticker. That's for your stand. I didn't plan on getting this. I had instant buyer's remorse because I didn't plan on getting this. I planned on getting all those other things. But then while I was sitting in line, right as I got to the front of the store, actually almost right as I got to the cash register, because you couldn't just go pick up a box. They're like, because of COVID, they could only allow, and for safety reasons mostly, they could only really allow about 20 people in the store at a time. It's not a huge store. It's, it's a mall-sized store. And so the line went like 5 stores down, and then they finally had to kind of, because we were blocking the front of all the stores, they had to kind of have it wrap around one of it was on the second story, so like the little railing that kind of overlooks the first floor, they had it wrap around that. And then those 2 lines kind of met, so they had to have it, it was crazy. So, I got in line, got all the way to the front, went in. The guy who worked there was like, if you're shopping for anything else, go ahead and go get it, and then get back in line. If you're just here for an R2, just go ahead and get in line. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go get a couple other things. All right, so whatever was boxed doesn't matter. It's not like they put the first 4 bags in the box. They just put random bags in there. I see how it is. And that's fine. So we're going to start with 1. Again, sorry for your ears. Got 2 of these big pieces. I don't have any of these. Yeah, and there were a few of those too, Brad. Do I have... Can you guys hear everything okay? I've got a couple... Oh, pretzel. I have pretzel listed? Oh, I was mucking with my audio. I'm trying to get a virtual cable set up so I can play music on the computer, listen to it in my headphones, but it also picks up my mic, so I'm not playing music on my phone. Because I can't really control how the music plays on my phone. Anyway. So yeah, they only let 20 people in at a time, and there were a couple families. Mostly it was guys like me. I got to meet Josh from Josh Builds. I didn't meet Emma from Emmasaurus and Mr. Emmasaurus. Not for any other reason other than it looked like she was constantly talking to people, and I didn't want to be another person to show up and go, hey, I know you from YouTube, But I saw Snot OK there, Michaela. I saw a bunch of our lug people there, so that was cool. Yeah, so it was a big event. There was one story, and I almost put this on the Facebook group, but then I realized that whoever did it might be on the Facebook group, so I didn't want to call anybody out. So keep in mind, I don't know, these are probably rubber bands. Keep in mind that, look at this, some green Technic pieces. Interesting. Now keep in mind, I say for a third time, that the wait was a half hour to 45 minutes to almost an hour, depending on when you got there. My wait was about, so I got there about 9:50, and I finally got in the store about 10:30, 10:40. And it's a nice thick instruction book there. Une hommage à nos droids, Star Wars Favori. That's the French. Enjoy building. Creative director of Lego Star Wars, Jans Kronvold. Thank you. Why we love R2. So there's a whole thing about why we love R2. Size matters not. An unlikely friendship. Ce n'est pas la taille qui compte. A piece of creative engineering. Yeah, it shows how they had a person inside it. They had Kenny Baker inside it, which still blows my mind. All right, so we're going to build the core. This looks like the very beginning, the core. Bag 1. Okay, let's do this. So back to the story. We're in line for a very long time. And I get to the front of the line, and I am not really sure if just these 3 things are what I want. I keep looking at everybody else getting the... This was all FOMO. It was major FOMO. I think the music's too loud. Super major FOMO. I felt like if I didn't get this, I was going to regret it. I don't have any of the busts or the masks. And I never got any other droids other than maybe the first run of Technic Phantom Menace droids. So like I got the Droidica and the Pit Droid and the Battle Droid. All those Technic ones that actually did stuff. Like the Pit Droid, you hit the nose and it, springs up, and then the Battle Droid kind of opens up on its own, and then it's got the dial in the back that raises its arm and grabs the gun. And then the Droidica, the Destroyer Droid, which was really cool because you could roll it, and then it would roll and hit like a spring-loaded bit on the bottom and kind of open up. So that was very cool. Those are probably some of the cooler sets of that whole first run. As much as I hate to say it, because some of those ships were not awesome in retrospect. They were doing what they could at the time. I'm sure a lot of it was rushed. So I didn't get the Yoda, I didn't get the Child, I didn't get the Porg, and I didn't get the BB-8. So this is kind of a new thing for me. I don't do a whole lot of the stand stuff, the display only stuff. I get ships that are fun to build, they look cool, I get a figure out of it, I take it apart, right? Yeah, I've got to, and I do UCS stuff. So it just, I don't know, it was really weird to think that I wanted this. And I did, it's still cool looking, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But then I realized I got all these new shelves over here, and I was like, I have a nice place to put this now. So it's going to sit right dead center, and I think it'll be fun. Get to the front of the line, last minute decide that I want to get the R2, and I put my stuff down on the thing, and the guy says, R2? First I was like, how are you guys doing? And he's like, oh, we're all right. And I'm like, no, really, how are you guys doing? He's like, oh, it's a bit much. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's all right. He's like, I'm really glad the mall decided not to turn the air conditioner on today. And it was very warm and sticky in there. So I was like, oh, that sucks, man. I didn't even really realize it either. And what I thought I was going to try to do is, as soon as the store opened, I was going to call in a curbside order and be like, yeah, I can be there in 20 minutes to pick it up, and then just wait in line until I got up there and then just pick it up. I was worried that I wasn't going to get I wasn't super worried about getting the R2 because I hadn't decided that I was going to get that yet, but I was worried that they were going to run out of the gift with purchased items. So what flipped it for me was I get to the front of the line and realize I just stood in line for an hour to get a gift with purchase with 2 items that I could have got online. And I was like, I can stream this tomorrow. I might as well just get it. What also tipped it over the edge was I got an email from Lego saying, hey, that Cantina set you want is back in stock. I'm like, oh, sweet. And I went to the site. It's already sold out. Now, the email was from the day before, So I didn't act on it fast enough, but I was told by a friend who's trying to get it too. He's like, yeah, that thing sold out in like 2 minutes again. Like, if you weren't waiting for it, like right on, just like staring at your computer right then, you wouldn't have got it. I was like, oh man. So that, and I got all excited, and that's $350. So I basically almost just spent $350 waiting in line. So with my VIP points, I got 20 bucks off, and it's about the same, right? So I was like, okay, so I don't feel so bad. All that aside, I like still had buyer's remorse. I was walking out of there going, I didn't need to do this. You know, I do have savings, and that's fine, but this is not, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I'm going to enjoy it, and it'll be fun to stream. As I'm waiting in line, because I told the guy I wanted an R2, he's like, all right, I'll be right back. And he went and told the guy watching the front, who I think was probably the manager that day. I don't know the staff there very well. Something. He went to go tell him something. I was like, am I getting the last one? And then I was like, oh, this would be a great story. But I didn't. He just went to the back and got like 2 more crates full of it. I was like, all right, well, that's cool. So the guy next to me is being rung up, and he's there with his kid. He's my age. He has a 7-year-old kid. And they are there with what I think was either a Ninjago or a Minecraft set. I didn't really look too close, but it was just a regular like $50, $60 not Star Wars set. And you get the second to last one. Nice. Very cool. The character builds are your favorite? Sweet. Yeah, I know a lot of people like them. They're good. They're great display pieces, you know? So the guy and his son, they ring it up. And he's like, all right, well, there's your, you know, it's whatever it costs. And then the dad, and I don't want to characterize, and I don't want to make any voices, but there was definitely I live in Texas, just assume. He says, can y'all put one of them shuttles in there too? And you could just see the guy behind the counter kind of collapse a little bit. And, you know, he was like, because there's a kid involved. And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, those are for a purchase of a Star Wars set. Today we're doing the May the 4th thing, so it's for a Star Wars purchase. And then he reached back into the box and grabbed one and kind of threw it in the bag. And he's like, so we normally don't unless you're purchasing a Star Wars Lego set. So he closes the bag and he looks at the kid. He goes, all right, well, now this is going to be a very important question, so I'm going to ask you, is this set for you? And the kid nods really quick. He's like, it's not for him, right? And he's like, okay, well then you get to carry the bag. And the kid got all excited and ran off with the bag. And I'm like, so first of all, dude, you know the rules. If you're not going to buy a Star Wars set, why are you even in line? You know, what? You waited 45 minutes, maybe longer, to get in line and buy a not Star Wars set? I mean, cool. I'm glad your kid got some Lego, but at the same time, I'm like, that's a heck of a long time to wait for that, dude. Just weird. One lady was in line. She got the shuttle and R2, and I'm like, wow, that's a purchase. Had some lug mates who are up at the very front of the line. My friend Glenn, who's usually on here, he was there. Oh, didn't see that. Glad I did. He and another lug mate were up there. A couple lug mates were up there. So they got in and out. There wasn't a whole lot of families. There were a couple. There was a lot of one-off people like me. Josh was there by himself. Most people were just there to get their R2, get out. Some people bought a couple extra things. There wasn't a ton of families. I think because, I mean, it's Austin, so it's still a fairly large city. But I think had I gone up with my kids and they would have been like, we want to go to the Lego store, and I saw that line, I'd be like, I don't think so. Unless we were specifically there to get the R2. Person behind me waited to return something. Oh, sweet child. That's just crazy pants. I would have walked up to the front of the store, line or not, and asked whoever was flagging the line saying, I just need to return something. I'm not here to buy something. Can you help me with this? I don't want to wait in line. But yeah, I would have not waited in line that long. I get mad when I have to wait like 5 minutes to return something. So I'm not going to finish this today. Obviously, it's a very large set. But on May the 4th, I'll be streaming. That's a Tuesday night. And I'll be streaming with my son, Greg. He will be over here for a couple hours. Because he really wants to build. And I told him, you got some time? You should come on over on Tuesday. So I've got to figure out how to get the camera a little farther back so I can get both of us in the shot. I think we can do it like this. Have him up here building and me over here maybe building the X-Wing or the probe droid or something. Or he can join from his house. We'll see. But I think it'd be fun if he came over. So that should be nice. Everything look okay? Video, audio, everything look great? Or at least good? It's very quiet in the house, and I don't trust the dogs. I'm sure they're out destroying something. Or pooping somewhere. Oh, whoops. Am I missing anything else? It looks A-okay. Sweet. Okay. Yes, it was nice. I mean, it was a stupid wait for a very long time, but it was kind of good seeing, meeting Josh and seeing a couple of my friends from the lug. My friend Will was like, who's in the lug, he was like, you want to stand up here in line with me? And I'm like, I don't want to cut in front of people. And he's like, no, I talked to this lady. She says it's okay. And everyone wears a mask, so I'm kind of looking at the lady, and she just had this blank look, and I'm like, I don't think that's okay with her. I'm okay going 4 or 5 people back, dude. He's like, okay. So I haven't watched Bad Batch yet. I plan on it at some point today. But I also have to edit a podcast. So my day is kind of full. After I get done with this, I think it's going to take a couple hours to edit that. So maybe tonight I'll watch it. Have you guys watched it yet? Is it episodic, or did they drop the whole thing? Kind of hoping it's like one episode at a time. Because if it isn't, I'm going to be up all night watching it. Oh, it actually starts the 4th. I thought it started Saturday. Well, that makes me feel better. I feel like I was behind a little bit. Oh, other way. Kind of excited for it. The Bad Batch wasn't my favorite arc in season 7. But it's always fun to get new Star Wars content. I always like that. I'm in the middle of, I'm almost finished with the last Alphabet Squadron book, and then I'm back to a High Republic young adult novel. And then I think that's it. Unless I wanted to start doing comics. I haven't decided if I want to do comics yet or not. Oh, that's a whole box for those 2 rubber bands. I get it. There's really no other way to ship them safely, but whatevs. Rubber bands, rubber bands. Comes out Friday, and then it's this regular Clone War 30-minute episodes. Cool. I'm actually picking up a rewatch of Rebels right now, so that's gonna be fun. Check my phone. No text messages. Extra pieces and all that. All right, bag 2. Now I gotta go hunting for a bag. Here we are. Bag 2. So basically we're building the center leg with that. Because it looks like this is the mechanism to, it's gonna probably be held somewhere like this and it will drop out. Can't see that. So I think this is gonna be our center leg. Would be my guess. I'm also back to watching Black Mirror. I realized that I really liked that show, and I don't know why I stopped. And then I realized how few episodes there actually are. Because I was like, oh, 5 seasons. I don't know if I can sit through 50, 60 shows. And then I realized, oh, that's right. It's a British TV show, which means there's 3 episodes a season, and they're each an hour and a half. So I'm gonna try to get through those. Fun, fun, fun. I've also taken my big Beggar's Canyon mock completely apart. Whoops. Rogue bag. I broke it all down a couple days ago, and I'm going to build it in Studio. I was going to try to not build it in Studio first, but I was just stymied. Hey Connor, how's it going? Welcome to the build session. Welcome to Sunday. Good morning. I was just stymied by what to do next. How many bricks to buy, what to build, how to build it. I wanted to make sure to make it so it could be moved and travel and stuff. But with not having a con that I don't think I'm going to go to Brick Rodeo this year. I'm not at the point where I feel real comfortable doing it, but I don't know. I'm still kind of undecided, and it's a few months off, so I might change my mind. But now I feel like I can start over again and kind of do it digitally and figure out how many pieces I'll actually need, rather than going, well, I should just buy a handful of dark tan or a handful of dark orange and just kind of wing it. I don't like winging it too much. I like having kind of a plan for it. Journal of the Scots. Happy May the 4th week to you, my man. Yesterday I got almost every Lord of the Ring mini figure for $50. What? That's crazy pants. That is actually quite insane. Good find. There's a series I wish I had more of. I got quite a few of them. Oh God, my nose is really itchy. Yeah, that's a heck of a score, man. Did you find it like on Bricklink, or where'd you find that? Are you gonna sell them, or do you just like having them? Garage sale. Wow. Lucky. I cannot find any garage sales in my area that have any Lego. I'm also not going to a lot of garage sales lately, but when I was, do not jump in that bag. I will murder you. When I was, they never had any, you know, all the parents always have a Lego table. That's all they ever have. It's like, here's a Lego table. It's like, any table you put a Lego on is a Lego table. I told you to knock it off. I'm a cat. I'm going to run my face across this whole thing. And for $8 I got Yoda Starfighter, Hover Tank, and Anakin. Oh man. Yeah, that's a good score. Good job. Those are the kind of scores I see on like Bantha Bricks and just get all kinds envious. Oh, he's just making noise and trying to jump in the big Lego bag over here because all bags and boxes belong to him because he's a cat. And it bothers me because he just sits over there and rubs his face and makes noise. And he's a giant dick. No, he's not. He's a fine cat. Big old fat cat loaf is what he is. It's either way cheap or the people who are selling it know that they're selling Lego and are trying to do the $9 a pound, or, you know, well, I know it's 50 pieces, so that's $5, you know. It's like, ugh, dang it. Well, I'm interested to see what they do with that, because that's a closed system now. We'll see. So I'm sure everybody and their brother is doing a video or a stream building this. So I'm glad that you guys are here sharing it a Sunday. Oops, not quite that. Not quite yet with that. I still have this Amelia Earhart set, and I'm trying to figure out a nice thing to do with it, like a nice contest, but I'm not really near any milestones or anything. So I did that, Brad, one time because I was on a radio Sonic ID thing here in Austin. What's up, Walter? Well, welcome home. Thanks for coming back. Because I did that Sonic ID program, everybody at my work knows that I had the Capitol go up in the visitor center, so everybody at my job kind of knows that I do Lego stuff. And one lady emailed me and was like, my grandson, I think it was her son, was going off to college, and she was emptying his room and had a bunch of Lego and was like, do you want it? I'm like, sure, I'll buy it off you. And she goes, you don't have to buy it, just, can you take it? And I'm like, yes. So, you know, it was a server size box. I don't know if you know how big a server is, but it's, you know, it was fairly large. And didn't, you know, she didn't ask for any money or anything. And I was like, oh my God. So out of it, I got probably 30 or so figures, 30, 40 figures. Maybe not that many, maybe 20 or 30. But also I got like a bunch of, and this is the part that I feel bad about saying anything. Because she's like, well, this is just some of it. When we clear out the rest of the room, I'll let you know about the rest of it. I'm like, okay, I mean, no rush, whenever you get to it. And thank you profusely, because this is amazing. It's just a really big box of Lego. And they were all, it looked like it was a set that was well played with, because it was just full sets that had been thrown into a box. And then that box had been moved several times. So the sets had all fallen apart and mixed together. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that there was probably an ARC 170 fighter in there. I'm pretty sure there was an ATTE in there. A bunch of smaller battle packs, some Egyptian sets, Egyptian adventure sets. A lot of what looked like a lot of Ninjago stuff. Maybe some. There seemed to be a lot of Bionicle too, but of the Star Wars sets, there was quite a bit in there, and I think there was like half of the ATTE was in there. So knowing that it was only like half of it, I kept emailing the lady going, hey, did you ever get the rest of that Lego? Because it seems like there was some half sets in there, and it'd be really great to get these put together. And I never heard back. Like, she never emailed me back. And she still works there, and I know I talk to her on a daily basis because she's one of our very high maintenance users who constantly needs help with IT stuff. But I'm kind of like, man, I really wish I would have got the rest of that and had that full ATTE, and I'm sure there were more figures involved, but it was a free box of Lego, so cannot complain. Didn't stop me from complaining, but okay. Oh, I thought that was my cat licking something. There was like water running in the music. Yes, free Lego is the best. So I need to come up with another microfighter to build. Trying to think of which one to do next. I was thinking of doing the I had a thought about which one to do next, and now I can't remember what it was. I might part out the Home One pieces again so I can redo that one, because honestly that one was my least favorite out of all of them, of my original ones. The new one is much better. Maybe I'll try to part out the Havoc Marauder before that comes out. Although my Havoc Marauder is not, like, every once in a while I'll do a model and I'll be like, that's not good. Or I'll do one and then be kind of happy about it and then go find somebody else's and go, oh, well, that one's a lot better. I'm just going to find out if they've got instructions for that and use that instead. This stream needs more hot tub. Hey, Mason, how's it going? This town needs an enema. But what it doesn't need less of is an R2 leg. Oh, that's why this goes on last. Got it. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to get more ships and stuff from the Bad Batch. So we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of going back and forth in their little ship, in their weird... I don't think I got that quite. No, that seems all right. It's just not resting like I think it would. There's no gravity in the instructions. I think they're going to tool around in their ship quite a bit. And it'd be interesting if we saw any other ships at all, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Put that there. Okay, so it needs to be up like that. I need to put one there. So these instructions are a little weird because it's Technic and I don't want to not screw it up because it can, you get one peg in the wrong hole that'll mess up the whole measurement and function. Clone Wars ships, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of transition ships. We're going to see a lot of ships that were Clone Wars and then are going to be transitioning to the Galactic Empire. Things like we're probably going to see more stuff like we saw in Rebels, somewhere between Rebels and the end of Clone Wars, where like a V-Wing will be not a Clone Wars V-Wing now, but an Imperial V-Wing. And I know we saw that once before, but stuff like that where we get transitional stuff. So I didn't list if you had to kill somebody in the line. No, I didn't have to kill anybody. I wanted to. There's a couple really... No, there wasn't. It was fine. Okay, this guy goes here. And then two more go over here. What is it not supposed to do? Those pictures look exactly the same. Oh, the knob's supposed to be on the outside. Got it. There we are. Fantastic. It still seems really... Oh, okay. Good enough for government work. And we got our extra 1-bys here. I hope, yeah, I think what's going to happen is it's going to show them on a mission. I think the very first thing is like they probably won't hit Order 66 till maybe right towards the end of the show. And, well, maybe halfway through. And they're going to be on, I have a feeling they'll be on a mission. Something will happen. And they might have like a group of clones with them. And they'll get triggered. And then they have to put those clones down and try to figure out what happened. Yeah, so I think it's going to be fun. Oh, you did? I don't know how many our store had, but when I got up there, 70 or so people probably were in front of me, and they had enough to give everybody that. I don't know how many people. There were probably another 70 to 100 people behind me. And careful your ears, bag 3. Come in. Skating next door. We got some skaters next door. Super cool. So I don't know when they ran out, and I didn't hear of anybody running out. And I haven't heard from our group if anybody got shorted. But at least the people who got there early were fine. And by the time I left at 11, they still had several cases full. And I think there's probably only 3 boxes per case, maybe. They also had some damaged boxes that they were offering some extra VIP points, which was kind of cool. Yeah, Brad got the second to last one. Which makes me think we might have been pretty close to running out. So I'm kind of glad I got one. I was talking about something. But no, it didn't have to murder anybody to get it. I was sitting in line waiting for the stupid Tatooine gift thing. I think that's what, if I had just gone in and there was no line and I was able to just go in and get what I wanted, I wouldn't have got the R2. But because I was standing in line, they created a sense of demand, which made my FOMO kick in. And I was like, oh, well, now I gotta have me one of them R2s. Get out of my way, I'm gonna kill a kid to get an R2. I didn't. No kids were murdered. And you got a cantina. Ugh. Damn, son. I still want to get the cantina, but I think I'm gonna have to wait because I know our lug bulk is coming up. Like our invoices come in and we're pretty close to getting or having to pay for our order, so I have to kind of hold off. This will set me for a while. I'm okay for a while. So that, and then all the August releases, I'll probably just do some of those, not all of them. I don't want hardly any of what's coming out, but we'll see. Plus, I don't know, between now and then, if there's any other idea sets that are going to come out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have the worst time with aligned Technic. I just hate it. There's got to be a better way to get those pins in. I just don't like it at all. It's the most excited I've been buying a set. It's my grail, being a fan of buildings and figures. Yeah, it's a really, the more I look at it, the more sad. I can get it on Amazon right now. No problem, but $350 is a pretty good amount of VIP points. So I kind of want it to come back. If it doesn't come back on sale again soon, then I'll probably just end up getting it off Amazon, because you can get it off Amazon for the same price. I'm sorry I'm scratching my nose so much, but there's something, just allergies are just a problem. Can you get on Amazon right now for $350? So you're not paying extra, and you get shipping for free, which you get with Lego, but the only thing you're missing is the VIP points. I almost feel like buying it and then telling Lego, hey, I had to buy this through Amazon because you cannot keep this in stock. Where are my VIP points? And watch them laugh. Oh, yeah, that globe. Yeah, I might. And they're going to tell me what they tell everybody. We don't know. We don't know when we're getting stuff back in. But they might. I should give them a call. Yeah. This garbage right here. Frickin' hate. Ugh. That will kill an entire Lego set for me, is having to do that over and over again. Stupid Technic pins. Hey, Kodiak, what's up, man? You accidentally slept in. Well, we're not driving, so you're fine. It's not like you missed patrol. But cheers. Welcome to Sunday. All right, that's done. Turn that. Put some more pins in. More pins, more pins, more pins. Oh, I just realized how wobbly. I think that's just the monitors. Okay, well, and then this camera is on a monitor, so. The most uncomfortable piece in Lego. I'm gonna let you figure that out. Oh, how far in do I need to put that? Oh, they're having such a good time over there next door. That's great. That was a real ambiguous instruction right there. All this to make a cage around a leg. I'm sure if I didn't want to do a Technic build, I shouldn't have got this. I mean, I knew what I was getting into. This, I hate this. There's just no good way to like. So I've also started downloading. I downloaded a virtual cable for computer to get on OBS so I can get some different sound in here. Haven't played with it a whole lot. I'm kind of scared to break stuff. This computer doesn't have any speakers on it. I'd have to get some USB speakers or Bluetooth speakers. But I have some nice headphones. So what I want to do is have my nice mic, but then have music playing that I can route through OBS, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do that without buying like some expensive equalizer or external mixer. But apparently you can download a thing called a virtual cable, which will create basically in the operating system, it'll tie into your COM ports or something and say, nope, this is now a cable. And you're like, okay. So I'm trying to play with that and see if I can get that working. Mostly for me, so I can have like music in my ears instead of on this phone. I think provides a better experience for everybody. And I want to try out a couple different music sources because I think Harris Heller's done me okay for the past year, I guess. But I'm also I'm going to go back to Pretzel and see if that has a little more, because I feel like I've listened to everything on this playlist a million times. It's still unusual for me to sleep in. Yep, I'm with you. I don't sleep in. If it's like 7:30 when I wake up, I'm like, what? Am I sick? What happened? Something's wrong. And Beth hates it because Beth sleeps in all the time. She also has a medical condition, which means she doesn't sleep well at night anyway. But I am just old, and I've been getting up at the same time for 30 years. Okay, these two. And those two. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it sure doesn't make any sense right there. So I'm going to go back a little bit just to double check the work. That's what it looks like. Make sure this is the right orientation. Okay, it's that side. Got it. That's why. Haha. Success. AEQI. Made it in time. How's it going? Thanks for being here. I am the MP. Or am I the MP? I don't know. Are you? Are you the most something player? You have a picture of a Capitol building as an icon. Which building is that? And where are you coming from? Where you hail from? Yeah, I think the thing is I was trying to get it on this side. I thought, and those don't line up, but the other side lined up perfectly. So I wanted to make sure. You can tell because it's got these two nubs right here, and those aren't on the other side. So that lined up pretty quick. So hoping here that that's the extent of the, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, thank the maker. The air conditioner has turned on. We're getting to that time of year where it's not that hot outside, but because it's like 100,000,000% humidity in Austin, it just feels all like a wet blanket and sticky. No, you're not the only one who thinks that. Eki. There's theories that it was a Clone Wars era ship, and it's really old, and it was a precursor to or a descendant of the gunship. So same manufacturer, but they didn't make too many of them. So like whereas the LAT was military purposed, the Razor Crest could have been a civilian or commercial use, and it just didn't see as much use, and there weren't that many made. So the theory is that you could get them cheap because they were rare and hard to find parts for and stuff like that. But it's Star Wars, so who knows? They could have been as ubiquitous as a 1970s Beetle and easily to repair, and lots of parts could be found everywhere, and everybody had one, and this is just the only one seen. Well, if it wasn't military, you probably didn't need them, and the turrets, the blasters or the cannons on the front may have been something he put on. Like, this could have just been a courier ship or a cargo ship of some kind, and those aren't really heavily armed. Knowing who he was, he probably had specific special modifications put on for his lifestyle and his trade. These are just thoughts. These are just random thoughts. Yeah, the CV-22. Yep. We did talk about that. Is that aligned properly? Oh, don't forget that. God, I hate that. Put this one, here's a whole instruction just for that. And just for this. I'd rather like it that their burger was restricted. That makes more sense. I'm just kidding. I love typos that are like, yes, their burger was definitely restricted. I do like E.C. Henry's channel where he's like, this is what a Nebulon B frigate looked like before all the panels were stripped off because they had to have a ship that was easily fixed, and they had these in spares all over the place, and then he just armored the crap out of it. It was so great. That's when I should get the parts for. Is I should get his Incursor Star Destroyer and build that out. There was a fan video of a couple escaping Corvettes and X-Wings and A-Wings, and then there's 2 Imperial craft behind them, an Architens and this Incursor class Star Destroyer. It was super cool. It was like a 3-minute video or something. Check it out. I forget what it's called, but you should be able to find it pretty easily. But it was slick. So slick. Why did I say burger, for God's sake? Oh, for fuck's sake, Derry. They did have an unlimited burger, too. That's what happens when you co-opt as many worlds as they did and just said, no, protection. It's a protection racket. You just make sure to give us conscripts and occasional monies, and we'll make sure that those filthy rebels don't try to steal your children or your way of life. I do like some of the look at how they pulled that off, and what they kept saying. There's a really good piece in The Mandalorian about, or when Din and Mayfeld are in that outpost, and they had to take their helmets off, or Mayfeld take his helmets off, and they're talking to that Imperial officer, and he's like, they'll come back to us because they want stability. They want, to know that they are going to be fed and their children are going to be protected. That's all they want. He's like, they don't want freedom. They want to not have to make a choice and for somebody to make a choice for them. It's like, yeah, you're right. Not really, but kind of, It's a very good argument. Because you think, and it's an argument you can make after telling the same story for a long time, that, the Empire is just evil, which, fair enough. But also, But why was it allowed to exist for so long? That's no moon. That's a White Castle. It's bigger than any White Castle I've ever seen. Getting a bad feeling about this. Perhaps you should turn your ship around. I think you're right. Resistance used medical frigates again, especially defensive crate. Yeah. Yeah, anytime they... Oh, God. They flip, you know, the use of something. And it's fun to see channels like EC Henry and stuff go take all those old clunkers and go, okay, what was it before? What's another use we could use for this? Like the land speeders, the T-47 speeders. He's like, well, here's a commercial or civilian use for it. And it's just this sleek looking like race car kind of look to that. And you're like, oh yeah, that's really great. All right. So this, I'm guessing, goes on like this. And those guys go on like that. I have to sneeze, hang on. Off camera. Phew! Oh. There's something in the air, my friends. It is not doing me any favors. The Resistance is good. They had... See, the thing I liked about the Resistance was the... What's up, Chris? How you feeling, buddy? Everybody, Comic Tropes on YouTube over here is my friend Chris, who hopefully is not a long hauler, but is recovering from COVID and doing okay the last I checked. Was back into doing some art, doing some videos. If you haven't checked out his channel, Comic Tropes, it's really good. Really well produced, really well in-depth thoughts and coverage about comics. So go check it out. And I hope you're doing well, Chris. Back to work part-time. Excellent. Yeah, so good stuff. I hope you get back to your job and the thing you like to do. So the Resistance, yeah, the Resistance transport, cool ship. I like the little shuttles. I like some of the stuff they came up with, like the Nebulon C is a cool ship. That Bunker Buster, I forget what that's called. The something class Bunker Buster. It escapes me. I know what it is, but I got a microfighter for it, and with Vice Admiral Holdo. Those are cool ships. What I didn't like is the fact that after 30 years they're still using X-Wings, where in the span of like 10 years they did away with like the ARC 170s for X-Wings. They went ARC 170, Z95, X-Wing, and then X-Wing for 30 years. Like the X-Wing became great, it's a great ship, but it became like the F-15 Eagle, right? It just was there forever. And instead of like replacing it with a newer one, they just went, no, now this is the T-70. Now this is the T-75. It's like, I got this guy. I got these two guys for being, so this guy for spending insanely amounts of money, and then this guy for getting stuff in store. So I probably won't even open this one. I'll just put it in my drawer of polybags. And I might build this. Might just keep it in the box for a while. I don't know. So yeah. And I got the probe droid and an X-Wing and a TIE fighter too. So it was a hefty day at the Lego store. Is that FPF Stan Lee? Or PFP Stan Lee? Yeah, I had a rough night last night with like sneezing and stuff, and it's not any better today, and I'm worried I'm going to take time off of work. So the X-Wings though, I feel like they could have designed new ships, right? They had slightly different looking X-Wings. So instead of 2 engines, now it's 1 half engine. Everything else is pretty much the same. They have Y-Wings with slightly longer engine venting and slightly narrower front ends, but they weren't like the old school Republic. So it's like the old school Republic Y-Wings then got all their shielding or plating removed for like weight and ease of access and cost, and then got turned into a more streamlined version of itself in the Resistance. Then they had A-Wings, which were just slightly longer R-22s or whatever. So they didn't really make any improvements. What is... Okay, I'm doing something wrong here. Help me out now. This piece goes in here. This piece goes in here. And then these both go like this. Okay, why didn't that work the first time? That's really weird. Anyway, I do not like... Oh, the Archangel. That's a great idea, Chris. I'm going to put that down. I'm totally going to do that. Always looking for new interesting stuff. It'd be neat to get... that's a comic I think I'd like to read, too. I'm like this close to getting like a Comixology subscription so I can read... Because I heard Dr. Aphra's are good comics. The Vader comics are pretty good. I want to do the High Republic comics. But I don't really feel like getting a hold slot at my local store. Just because I'm lazy. And I already spent a lot of money on Lego. I was hoping for more like a monthly subscription instead of just per issue, but I know that's not how it works. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Thank you for the suggestion. X-Wings are as aerodynamic as a book. I mean, have you seen a TIE Fighter? TIE Fighter's like throwing a basketball at something. In space, it doesn't matter. When you get into atmospheric combat, it just doesn't make any sense. X-Wings are useless at this point. No back turret, slow engines, and shield is decent but outdated. Yeah, and I cannot fathom why they just keep using that model. I think they keep using it because I think an in-universe explanation would be that because it was such a useful fighter during the Galactic Civil War that they just decided it was the best fighter ever. Fair enough. I mean, if it doesn't run into problems while you're using it, and it helps you win a war, and a lot of people like flying it, I can see it being put to use in a lot of instances. Do I have to do this twice? No. Aha, this goes in here. This is a little weird. And it's cheap, yeah. That's very true. You don't have to, it's harder to re-engineer an entirely new space superiority fighter than just adapt. We have new materials, we have lighter metals, we have better power transfers and better way to shunt heat, and that can all be adapted to an existing ship. Much like fighter design or even car design, it's like we've been building off Toyota Camry bodies and chassis for probably 20 years. It's like there's very little need to reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. But because there was such a distinction between the ships of the Clone Wars and the ships of the Galactic Republic, I would have expected between a longer gap, because the Clone Wars ended kind of like right before the Galactic Empire. There's not much time in there. There's just a few years. But there's a lot longer time for stuff to happen in between Galactic Empire and the rise of the First Order and the New Republic. It's just kind of, it felt like somebody who wasn't really great at world building just took a swing at it, you know. Because you can reprint toys easily. That's true. Well, I mean, and that's a consideration. You know, we want to, somebody who was making the movie was so invested on maybe paying a lot of money to get the stars they wanted, or the script writing team they wanted, or they knew they had to sink their money into effects. So maybe character design or ship design wasn't a big deal for them, or they wanted that continuity and they wanted that nostalgic kind of through line to be like, hey, remember X-Wings? Hey, remember TIE Fighters? It's like, the TIE Fighters too. TIE Fighters were, I don't know, super frustrating. Which means there's a lot, so there were some cool ships in the Resistance, but overall there wasn't a lot of new ships. Yeah, and then the Tarkin Doctrine came in with Palpatine and all the Star Destroyers, and they're like, well, we're normalizing Star Destroyers. And then in the 30 years it took to get, don't even get me started on the Zeiston class of ships. Oh, they're Imperial 1 Star Destroyers, but just bigger. Oh, they're the exact same, but just bigger? Yeah, but now they got a gun on the bottom of it. Oh my god. F. Hate these stupid... It just seems like over the years, the pins and the holes for Technic just got... It's starting to hurt my fingers. That's true. Calamari ships are always cool. And the cool thing about Mon Cal ships is that they're unique. They're like going to Jack in the Box and getting it made fresh, or whoever does that. Burger King, Wendy's, whatever. Like no two are the same. They all have a certain class. They all have a certain type. But they are all very, very, you know, each one is unique. They're not put on an assembly line. Which I think is a cool thing. It's also kind of sad when one blows up, though, because you're like, oh, that was a very bespoke, you know, battle cruiser that just got blown up. All right. Oh, flipped like this. Okay. Let's not confuse the bend too much. I'm always terrified I'm going to miss out on some part when I'm doing Technic. What the F? Why is that so far apart? Oh. Mon Cal ships had like the best shield system in the entire Rebel Alliance. I'm going to take your word for it. I don't doubt it. I'm not great with specs and stuff, but anything that can go toe-to-toe with a Star Destroyer. They had, from what I understood, they had just really good like hull plating design too, and shielding, and like energy distribution, to where they were like, they could just manage their energy better. All right. Getting there. Got a cage of... The downside is I'm going to do all this, and then my son's going to come in Tuesday and do like all the cool stuff on the outside of it. And I'm going to be like, can I do some of that? But we'll see. He may not be able to come on Tuesday, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for the deal made with the Mon Calamari, that the Rebel Alliance wouldn't have won. They needed ships in the worst way, and that pretty much sealed the deal for them. Hey, I'm getting some bot spam here. Cool. Getting rated. I do want to become famous. How can I make that happen, bots? Can you show me? Show me the way. And congrats to everybody here. We got 100 messages in the chat today. Woot! You guys are some chatty people. Some chatty sons of bitches. Some bitch. As much as I like talking Star Wars and Star Wars ships, because that's kind of my love of Star Wars is the ship stuff. I do know that I do not have the brain. I don't have like the sports almanac style brain to retain all the very cool pieces of information about starships. I like the way they look. I like the way they pew pew kind of thing, but to ask me how many crew something has or, you know, any detail about them, I'm like, I don't know. Doesn't mean I don't want to. It's just that's not how my brain is built. I know enough to be annoying at Trivial Pursuit near all my friends. That's about it. Russian bots. But I do love me some space Star Wars stuff. I can't wait for Rogue Squadron. I think that's going to be fun. I'm a little worried that it's the lady who directed Wonder Woman 1984. But she also, I think, directed the first Wonder Woman anyway. So, I mean, it's like, I guess we'll give everybody a pass until they just really screw it up. I just don't want it to be screwed up for Rogue Squadron. Oh, goodness. Where the heck does this go? Okay. Ah, okay. Thank you for the illustration. It needs to go above that. Okay. Bueno. Oh, this is entirely too complicated. Oh, it was a real hot mess. It was so hot messy. Did I forget something? There is, yeah, I'm missing something. Sorry, I have to go back because I feel like I'm missing where these two came together. Okay, that one's good. Did I like just miss a whole page? I think I did. Okay, hang on. Loved your video tour in the new shelves with microfibers. Thank you, Walter. It was a hit on the TikToks as well. I could do anything. You could do anything as a short on YouTube. 2,000 hits. Make a small video about one little thing. 100 hits. You know, you're like, I don't get it. But thank you. Yeah, the CGI wasn't great. The whole, I mean, just there were some things that worked. Like Pedro Pascal, I thought was great because he was kind of hamming it up the whole time, and he was just this great over-the-top villain. There were so many long, drawn-out... Like, you could have taken 20, 30 minutes off that movie, and it probably would have worked a little better. There were just so many bits where, like, I kept checking my watch going, is this scene still going on? I'm gonna go make a sandwich. You tell me when we're done wishing for crap. Okay, back to this. Okay. I'm assuming. Okay. That's right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna push these guys in. Oh my god. So much technic. You need to see more pictures of the bases of those microfighters. Huh, thanks. Yeah, every time they showed Wonder Woman running, she was very smooth. She was very intent, but it's just like there was no, like, you know, because when you're running, you're, I don't know. I guess it's different when you're a god or whatever, but I just felt like it was unrealistically portrayed. But everybody, high five for the Snyder Cut. I still think that was a really fun watch, even though it was 4 hours. I had fun watching it. Walter, I may take pictures of some of the stands, the newer stands. I just haven't yet. But all the other ones should be done. I should have pictures of all of them. And, I mean, they're just made up. They're just get an 8x8 plate and make up a little planet scene, something. That's all I've been doing. You could do that, too. You can do that, too. Oh yeah, thanks Brad. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's 11:30. I'm probably gonna go another half hour. Beth's not here for a little bit, so I think I'll go till 12. But thanks for coming by and regaling us with stories of Lego and Lego related Star Wars stuff. Have a good week. Nope, don't put those in yet. I'm also excited that there's news of Battlefront 3. I haven't really read up on the news about it yet. I'm assuming it's rumor news and not official news. But if that were the case, I would be very, very excited. That would make me buy a PS5, that's for sure. Yes, it was the first thing I saw was the studs of the base. Come on. So effing frustrating. Okay, and it's going to give me an alignment thing here too. Straight across, not up, not above, but below, or straight across. What? anything on? Okay. I don't understand this one. But what does that go into? Anything? Okay. I guess that's right. Oh, nice. I already ordered some 8x8 plate with some pieces for new microfighters. Cool. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of the special plates for existing microfighters yet, but that can be a project people can do too. That would be a fun thing to do. Because there's some established areas, like you can put Luke's land speeder on a tan one and put some domes and be like, okay, he's on Tatooine. You can put a snow speeder or an AT-AT or any one of those things on Hoth. You know, that's pretty basic stuff. Most of them you can get away with putting on a black flat plate with some white 1x1s in it, and it's space. Hooray. Okay, I am positive that I am missing some 1x1 bits. Yep, I sure am. Two, three, four. Missed all that. And I think these are extra because I already did that over here. I have a feeling too, this is oh look, these are like things. Probably gonna come out of his belly. Little tools that'll fold up underneath. It's pretty cool. Alright, one more bag and then I think we're done. Docks for the Millennium Falcons, that's cool. Yeah, either the Millennium, like you could put the Rey Chewie Millennium Falcon or the sequel Millennium Falcon. You could put that on Takodana. I put the Kessel Run solo Millennium Falcon on Kessel, which, you know, I kind of picked an area that looked like the Battlefront level on the outside where the Falcon is. You could put it on what was that planet where they did the mining? I forget, where they did the processing of the ore or of the coaxium. You could do that planet, but by then it's pretty beat up and it's no longer the shiny one. Or where they first meet Han, where they're doing all the bedding. That'd be a good one to put it on. The original Falcon you could put on Tatooine in a little hangar, or the Death Star hangar. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do with those stands, because it's, especially some of the newer or some of the more established ships, because there's a lot of locales they've been to. So like you could put an X-Wing on Dagobah, you could, you know, put an A-Wing above a Star Destroyer. Lots of stuff. Times 2. Alright. We're going to build these simultaneously. Yeah, that's one thing I should have done, is built an escape pod in the Kessel one. So that is something I need to rectify. So it's funny watching the skater people walk back and forth here. There's a house next door that they built a half pipe, and so I invariably see kids walking back and forth, and they walk to the backyard all full of gusto and everything, and then they walk away at the end of the day limping. You're like, oh, poor thing. Looks like you had some fun. Ooh, cool. So here's some parts that I'm going to need a lot more of coming up, because I built a lot of recent microfighters with, is this bag 4? Is there a second bag? Yep. I was missing some pieces. So I started doing some more like 3-wide builds for microfighters because it's kind of a bit of a challenge, but you can, you put your person in a seat, that's where they sit, and then you've got basically a 3-wide ship or a 5-wide instead of 4 or 6. And you can also transition it back to 4-wide in the front or back of that. But I always find that I'm starting to find that's a really good size for if you put a bracket, and I don't know if I have any brackets here to show you, but yeah, I don't. But if you have brackets on either side of these that sit up, it's a really good size for a figure to sit in. It's not as snug as 2x2, but it gives you a little more room to like build stuff around it. I think it's just a real fun size. But it means also I need to buy a ton more of these things. And I think I'm getting some with lug bulk, so that'll be good. I'm hoping my dogs are asleep. I do not hear them. I think they probably are. Every time I do something like this during the day, sit at a computer or play video games, they crash. It's the middle of the day. Gotta get their nap in. Metal colored vents. Oh, these are nice. I think there are some chrome vents in the Empire State Building that I think I kept out on purpose because they were, or not these, but the vented slopes, 1x2 slopes. A friend of mine said, yeah, you don't, okay, now this is weird. Oh, interesting. That's just to be able to get that look. That's cool. The way it's kind of slightly spaced right there. It's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, those are completely hidden. You should keep those out and you can use those later. So I did. So the inside of my Empire State Building is not accurate. So I think I threw some yellow vent plates in there, or vent tiles. Alright, 4. Well, I hope everybody has a good May the 4th time this weekend and this week. Watch some Bad Batch, maybe watch a Star Wars movie or two. I feel like we're not the persecuted few anymore, the nerds and the geeks who like Star Wars and Lego. I feel like it's kind of it's so much mainstream now that it, you know, I don't feel bad wishing people that, but at the same time I'm like, it's gonna be fun, man. Go do a thing. I don't know why I thought that was a weird transition. There was something behind it. I just don't remember what it was. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm gonna watch any movies tonight. Threes. We have training this afternoon, but that's only till 5. So I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it's fashionable to be nerdy, but not nerdy, you know? People like, I'm now fashionably nerdy because I like watching Marvel movies. It's like, yeah, but I'm glad you watch Marvel movies, and I'm not going to be a gatekeeper about it. But when we say nerdy, we mean the socially awkward people you made fun of in high school. That kind of nerdy. That's not fashionable to be that anymore. You will still make fun of those people. So just say that you enjoy watching Star Wars and Iron Man. That's fine. But don't pretend like you know the struggle of being persecuted for being smart and into stamp collecting and bugs and playing Super Nintendo when you were a kid. Now everybody's into that. No. Not remotely true. But I am glad that people who like this stuff, Marvel movies and Star Wars and Star Trek and video games, aren't persecuted anymore or beat up so much. Now they're just beating them up for different things. Because kids are going to be jerks no matter what. I think it's kind of in their nature. They need to get that crap out of the system while they can't be prosecuted for it. Doesn't make it right. So, new podcast coming out tomorrow. This episode is dealing with racism. And it's not a fun episode. None of these are fun episodes so far. They all have hard-hitting stuff to deal with. But I think they handled this episode well, so we'll have that up hopefully tomorrow morning when I get done editing it, which I'm going to do right after this. This one's also a little shorter. We don't have a guest this time, so there wasn't 3 people talking. That I kind of wanted to make sure everybody had something to say in the last episode. And it ran a little long. But this one right about an hour. Probably less once I trim all the ums and ahs out of it. No, this one isn't with a guest. It's just me and Beth again. I think we'll probably do a guest because we've got another viewer of the show, longtime viewer of the show who wants to be on it. And I'd like to get maybe another 10 done, maybe 5 before we do another guest, just to kind of space it out a little. It's cute. It's a good little bit. We also want to have, we might have our, I wouldn't say rival podcast, but there is another Ready or Not podcast, and they're like 4 or 5 episodes ahead of us. They have a different format than we do, and they talk about different things than we do, but it's basically a recap podcast like ours. They just have a different sort of take. And it's still very well produced and whatnot. So if you like the show and you just can't get enough from our podcast, please feel free to check them out. Their show is called Still Not Ready, a Here We Come podcast. I am just giddy with anticipation over getting Beth to watch Letterkenny, because that was the deal. We would do Ready or Not, and then we would do Letterkenny. Let me see, there it is. Hoping I can wrap this up before the end of the hour. We'll see. I'll just go until we're finished with this bag, and that'll be it. So many tiles. Hey, yo dog, we hear you like these metal tiles. How about some metal tiles? Yeah, so that'll be edited today and put up tomorrow. And hopefully I can talk Beth into recording another one soon, because I want to get on a better schedule than waiting till the last minute to get it edited, because if something happened, we wouldn't be able to get it out on time. And putting a podcast out on time is not like, we're not beholden to anybody. We don't have stakeholders or contracts with anybody. But having to go, oh well, we didn't get it done, let's put it out Tuesday instead of Monday, or let's put it off a week or something. This doesn't sit well with me. I don't like it. That's pretty cool looking. I can already tell that's gonna be some nice looking stuff going on there. Does this seem a little dark? The table seem a little dark. Let me try to change these lights a little bit. Like the table a little more instead of the background. Nobody cares about the background. They're here for the build. Oh. That might be a little better. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Okay. These are also good pieces to have for making ships, because, and I think I've talked to this before, but making seats for minifigures, this is a good piece because their butt can sit on the studs and their legs sit up on the tile part, and they're very easy to get back out. So you can easily put a figure in and it'll hold just enough, and then you can pull a figure out. Which, if your figure is kind of built in a little bit to their chair, it's not impossible to then like kind of just wiggle them and pull them out. I've had so many builds in the past, Lego builds more than anything, where the figure feels like it's just crammed in there and you just can't get it back out. Or you pull on it and its torso comes out but its legs are in there. It's a little frustrating. So this makes that a little easier. And I don't remember where I first saw that, but it was a revelation. You put it opposite? The only reason I think to do it this way is because the back end of the legs of the minifig are curved. So let's take Benny here as an example. So I think either way would be fine, right? If he's sitting in there, it's really tight on his legs, right? You can still pull it off easily. But if you put him in like this, there's not as much clutch. It's not going to focus probably really well. There's not enough clutch back there on his little butt, his little space butt. And so he comes off pretty easily. That's why I do it like that. Comes off pretty easily. If you do it like that, that's a full clutch, and that comes off. That's a little harder to pull off. Personal preference, whatever you like doing with it. But you're wrong. No, I don't. It's whatever you like doing, man. It's your Lego. I'm not here to yuck your yum. All right, Walter. Rain on Parade. What's a... how do you say that in your language? To rain on somebody's parade? To yuck their yum? To make them feel bad about a thing that they like? Is there a colloquial idiom or something like that? Like, don't spit on my cabbage. Or, you know, don't tell my dog it's Tuesday. Something weird. Oh, what happened to my music? Quel traspis. Already heard it. I need to get back into my French lessons. I just realized that I am not doing French lessons very well. Huh. Good targeted ad, Target. Hey, would you like some perfume? What? I don't even know. I mean, don't rain on my parade. That sounds pretty obvious. I'm having a good time. It's a big celebration. It's all noise and color and sound and music. And you're here to rain on it. So don't do that. That might be sort of a worldwide expression, but I like asking, and some places might not have that or might have something similar. A coworker does a thing on Teams every day where she lists a word that has no English equivalent. And it's usually roughly an English equivalent word, but it doesn't have like a single word for it. You have to use a longer phrase to describe it. A good example would be like the feeling of nostalgia or yearning or longing for a place that you've never been. There's a word for that, which is great because up until I'd heard that word, I was like, oh, I thought only I had those feelings, because I have like feelings about the UK like that. Like every time I think about visiting the UK or living in the UK and like listening to BBC, going to football matches, hanging out at a pub, you know, complaining about the Royals, taking the tube everywhere, I'm like, man, I feel like I've done that. I feel like I'm missing that, and I really want that. Never been there, you know. Hardly ever watched any British TV up until a few years ago, so I don't know where this feeling came from. So yeah. We always have expressions for everything. Fair enough. The Germans have a word for everything. That's who's got the words for everything. But I like hearing the more obscure ones. She also has a thing where she posts Texasisms, and some of them are just like, you know, working harder than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest, that kind of thing. More frightened than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And you're just kind of like, what? Where did that come from? Why would anybody say that? Some of those aren't really even Texas-isms because I'm sure I heard those when I was growing up in Colorado. Yeah, it's yearning, but I think yearning, I always thought yearning would be for something that you already knew you had. It's specific to, there's an interesting word for a yearning for a place you've never been, versus yearning for a place you have been. Sonder, I think it was Sonder. Maybe I'm just hopeful that it is. I thought it was Sonder. Maybe I'm wrong. Most likely am. Well, I am getting some definite plating. Here's your 2x6 tiles again. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. So when my son takes over on Tuesday, I won't feel so bad because I've done some of the fun stuff here. Sondering is to realize that everyone around you has a... Oh, yes! I love that word, too, because that's one of my favorites. And it's one of those where I think about it, I feel very interconnected to the world around me. When I look up at a plane and go, I wonder where they're going. And then just imagining everybody in that plane, like somebody's stressed because they're coming off this rush of adrenaline because they barely got to the flight, or they're going to a funeral and they're really sad, or they're excited for their first, there's a couple on there that's going on their honeymoon, or even stuff like driving to work and you're looking at the person next to you and understanding they have their own story, right? You are just a bit player in their story. And that's a very sort of humbling, expansive view. And it makes me kind of go, huh, neat, Sondering is to realize, but I dig your enthusiasm. Getting to the point where my throat is closing up a little bit. That's not right. Let's put this piece on there first, and then this. So who's been watching Invincible? Anybody? Anybody caught up on that? That show is mangoes. It's just so intense. Times 3. Oh wow, we got a few of these to do. I'm always here to pimp my friends who've done good work, and those guys have done some good work on Invincible. Oh, good. Okay. I get to the last page, and there's big pieces left. I'm like, I've missed a step. I pierced the toast. Somebody posted online the fact that Trent Reznor he's a Tony away from getting an EGOT, which is like an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, which is like a grand slam of awards, basically. I don't know if it's an official award where if you get all 4, you get this other thing, or if it's just kind of a made-up thing. But I think that was really cool. And then they're like, so we need it. We need a Pretty Hate Machine, the musical. And I was like, what I need in my life is for Nathan Lane to sing Head Like a Hole. And it's just stuck in my head. It just, Head Like a Hole, So great. Anyway. I need Pumbaa singing Head Like a Hole, or Timon. So fun. Never not hear that now. So this is just going to go in and then settle, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Or do they actually go in and... Nope, it looks like it just settles. Okay. So we can figure this out. Figure it out. Figure it out, Derry. Ah, there we go. It thus latches. And then turn it this way and I put to these pieces. Oh, Jesus, Mary Catherine. Oh, they're just on opposite sides. Boom. To keep them from going back up. Ta-da! All right, well, everybody, you've made it another 2 hours of wasted time. And here we are, there's so far, and this is gonna, of course, pop out and be his blurp little foot. That's gonna be cool. But that's what we got so far. It's gonna be a pretty sizable build. You know, I never built the original one, so you know it's gonna be, and then his head. So it's gonna be great. Bags 5 through 10 maybe we'll do on Tuesday, and then I'll probably finish it up on Thursday. And I've got enough here to build that if we finish up early on Thursday, I can get back to doing some designing. But yeah, thanks for being here, Kodiak, Walter. We had some new people on earlier. Let's see, we had our Russian bots. Thanks to the Russian bots for being here. Thanks to AEQI for being here and bringing some enthusiasm and knowledge about Star Wars ships. That was pretty good. Thanks to Chris for bringing his healthy self back. Go check out Comic Tropes on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, go check it out. Journal of the Scots, Connor, Brad's Life earlier on. Thanks to Mason for being here. I'll be back on Tuesday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And I think that's it. So yeah, new podcast tomorrow. Links in the description. Here We Come, a Ready or Not podcast. And music by Harris Heller. I'll have some more instructions on Rebrickable coming up soon. And I think that's it for now. So thanks for being here. Take care. And we'll talk to you guys Tuesday.